And we're back. G&Q review with our friend Patrick. What's going on, Grant?
What's going on, Quinn, Patrick?
Hey
guys.
Patrick. The
It's
squad.
the holiday season.
Yeah.
Are you feeling festive, Grant? Is it in your bones?
What
Oh
does
no,
that
you
mean?
don't even have decorations up. And you're
I have my
basically-
tree up. I've got stuff up.
Grant has nothing. He's the only one that owns a home.
I
He has
have
nothing.
what are they called? On your door?
Wreath?
A wreath?
I have wreaths.
Is it a good wreath? There's
It's a
some
nice wreath.
wreaths around here. I'm like, you should have probably just put up nothing. That's a terrible.
It's a real
looking
wreath. It's like a real plant material. It smells good and it's real wreath.
I wouldn't expect anything less of you, Grant. You seem like the kind of guy who, once you get a tree, you're gonna get a real tree too.
Yeah. Well, you have to understand. You say you wouldn't expect anything less of me, but actually, my aunt got it for me. So, just try to understand, like, my upbringing, it goes deeper than just me. This has been
course.
ingrained in my soul.
Real romantic, coffee bean smelling, wreath hanging,
Whiskey drinking,
whiskey drinking,
Tree
creative
chopping.
writing, tree chopping,
tree chopping.
chopping.
Actually, you've kind of regressed
IPA
a little bit.
drinking.
No. I was just gonna mention you're kind of out of that, right? No more IPAs.
I'm on the next step though. What's the next step?
Double
you know?
IPA.
I don't know wine.
No. Well, I did have mead this weekend, which was pretty good.
What?
Hazy IPA.
No. What's the next step?
No, hazies those are very, very, very trending right now. So, hazies. But I actually had two beers today from a Cincinnati brewery that actually Patrick's
Christmas
been to
Oh, is it?
with
It's
me.
not sours.
It is sours.
Okay. It's at the Artifact. What's it?
Urban Artifact.
Urban Artifact. I was gonna
Yeah.
say Ancient Artifact. I'm like, that's
It's
not
the
quite
same
right.
thing.
And they have
Yeah,
sour.
so
That's
I
the
had-
next step is sours.
It's like fruity
Sour-
sours. It's almost like wine, really.
They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
I had two of them.
And they're like 16%.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah, so I'm a little tipsy. Yeah.
Not quite 60%, but they're pretty heavy. They're
So-
really tasty though.
I don't have to go into it, but the reason why I had two of them is just it seems like things are panning out with another position and
So that's why you had 2 and not 20, because you were depressed and sad. I'm just kidding. Or
I don't get it.
well, if you had bad news, you might drink more. Good news, you drink a little bit. If you don't drink anything, I don't really know what that says
No
about you.
news.
I don't know. You found Jesus or something.
You don't drink a lot to have a good time?
To drink a lot to have a good time, and probably drink a little bit more when it's
you're
a bad time. Yeah.
That's fair.
So-
That's fair. Yeah.
That's pretty good, Grant. Real quick, I know Pat, you were asking, what's behind me a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
I
Looks
thought
like
you were gonna let Pat actually. Thought it was gonna be a little staged thing, kind of.
Nope.
Pat was.
No,
gonna
we
tell
got a.
Whoa, Quinn! Wait, move a little. What's that
What?
black thing behind you?
Oh, that black. Oh,
is
if
it
you're
on a
watching.
winch?
Oh, if you're watching us live on YouTube Live right now, or you could just
Live.
check,
This is
check
live.
out the videos.
First time we're doing this.
Not the first time.
First
but-
time we're talking about the thing in the background.
Yes.
I don't know how long has it been there?
I think it's always been there, or at least it's make a recent experience. It's actually originally belongs to one of our mutual friends, Mr. Brown, Mr. Jackson Brown, who.
Oh.
Grant was there. Yeah,
It was last
when he-
year. It's a Christmas present.
Yeah, and it's basically got a picture of Australia on it. But I hang it there.
Australia.
because there is
Australia.
Australia. You can kind of peek into that's actually the Airbnb apartment next door, and I don't know, people get weird and creepy. They start peeking in, so you can just kind of there's one angle in there that you can just kind of directly see into the windows, and the shades don't cover it. So I put up that ugly thing and I block it.
ugly. I thought it was a gift.
Well, it just doesn't really. It's kind of out of place, you know.
No, wait, you didn't say out of place though. You said put up the. I mean, out of place. It's really determined on where
Doesn't
you
it
place
make
it.
things ugly if they're out of place? It would
Well, I
look
wouldn't
nice.
say. I wouldn't say I'm putting this ugly water bottle like down. Like no, I'd be like, oh well, the water bottle's nice, but when I put it there, like it's kind of out of place.
I'm gonna redact.
So
On record,
there's just like
our
a spot.
mutual friend.
There's just a spot that you can kind of like.
Yeah,
Peep
because
back?
if you see where the couch is too, like when you sit down, you could make eye contact with someone.
Huh. That's pretty awkward.
Yeah, and I don't want to move my couch or my TV or anything, so I just put that there. Celia
Is it
takes
like?
away
Can
sometimes.
they see you if you were on the TV, like on your couch? I mean, watching TV.
Yes, if they like, you'd have to like
Yeah.
crank your neck and like look down.
But
a
like,
little bit.
was this a couch? Like when this solution popped in your head, were you on the couch watching TV and you were like,
Kind of. I was like, I gotta fix this. Like, there's people walking. It's distracting. I'm very sensitive to like
yeah,
things in front of me, and I
your space.
trying to review because we're professional podcasters and we have to review these things. So I had to block all the distractions, and
Such a
it's
squeaky
worked out
chairs.
well. I like it. Who knows where it will be in a future residence or future home. So that's me.
Nice, cool.
What, Grant? What are we talking about today? What are we doing?
Today we were talking about a movie that was on the top 250. It's a classic, from what I've been told. The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. It's a 1948 American Western film, written and directed by John Huston. It follows two downtrodden men who join forces with a grizzled old prospector in searching for gold in Mexico.
Nicely put there, Grant.
Might
Thanks.
even be a pre-classic.
Yeah. When is Casablanca? Because
Oh, that's like 1929.
1940. That's what I thought. 1942. So because Humphrey Bogart, I know, is in that as well, and it was like 1948. So this was, I think, peak stardom
Okay.
of Humphrey Bogart,
Who plays Dobbs, right?
who plays Dobbs.
The villain.
I think you have to say his
If-
full name when you're referring to him.
Fred C. Dobbs.
Fred C. Dobbs. When Fred C.
no
Dobbs
lie,
says something, he means it.
Yeah.
What was your?
It was it was like kind of a slow start. I mean, I guess the whole movie's a kind of a different pacing than what maybe you're used to.
Yeah,
Really?
you didn't. I think so. They didn't. I didn't even know their names until like an hour in. I felt like.
Yeah.
It might have been a slower start, but I think it all made sense by the end of the film, where you have a story that is kind of like a quest, but really it's not about the quest or the gold. I mean, it's about the people.
I agree.
I don't know if they need. Yeah, I think the intro is kind of long. I don't know if you need that much. I mean, they're.
I think it
whole
created
f-
a setting though.
Would you steak an American a meal, Grant? A fellow American? He's like, dude, I've given you money 3 times.
Well,
And
then
that was
they,
the director.
and then the other guy, like, and then they were working on this thing, and then they didn't get paid, and like, you know, like that was like its kind of own. It's a long exposition. I guess maybe it was necessary.
But it's creating a setting that shows that like people are going to take advantage of people down here, and you're kind of out for yourself. And what do you
And
have?
money
to
matters.
offer? Yeah. And what do you have to offer to the world? Like the world's going to take stuff from you, but like, I don't know. They don't really have much to offer.
Yeah.
The one guy's like the old man, Howard. He's got like clearly a skill set, but the other two are just one's like a nice guy, the other's like just a fucker. Dobbs the fucker.
Dobbs.
Yeah.
Fucker C. Dobbs.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine if you take this movie where 3/4 of it is kind of them going on a quest to prospect for gold. But the first fourth, like you said, is kind of this. They're working on the boat. They don't get paid. He's begging. Then they find the guy later. They beat him up. I mean, they could have taken that part out and just started with, "Hey, we're looking for money. There's an old guy. I think he knows something about gold." But
I'm not saying cut that much out, but yeah.
okay.
You know what? A better way to put it is, I think the exposition in more modern films is shorter.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like more modern films might not age as well, because I feel like that actually helps like transport you and put you into what's happening. Even like we eat a steak in American, it's like it kind of like pulls you into like this is a different setting, different time, and like it's gonna be a little bit weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we just gonna have a museum in the future of like TikToks? Just play TikTok. This is too long. I can only do 3 seconds. I need the joke immediately. I thought the exposition was fine. The movie as a whole was not a bad movie, but I felt like I've already seen the movie before. I've never seen this movie, but you get the gist. I mean, it's different people and their reactions to greed. And I was trying to think of some other movie that does like the same thing.
Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet?
All Disney movies ever.
The Wages of Fear was very, very similar. There's 3 guys doing a dangerous kind of thing. Nothing's guaranteed to be paid well because there's no work.
Yeah, and you have the fourth guy who kind of interrupts the process, and they got to decide, do we keep him? Do we kill him? What do we do with this guy? It all seemed very familiar, but I couldn't pick out an example.
Wages of Fear.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if I feel that way just because it's the same time period, too. Like, wasn't it a black and white film? And
yeah, but the whole thing about the Wages of Fear is like it's set up the same exact way. They're in a poor town. They can't make money. They really need money. And then they're offered, instead of, they're going to search for gold, it's a really dangerous job.
But
it's called the Wages of Fear.
Right. But with the Wages of Fear, I feel like that's more plot driven, and there's a lot of like scary and dangerous environments, and you're really like, oh my god, there's a lot of suspense and what's going to happen. This was more dialogue, character building, talking.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
So
I didn't immediately see any resemblance of a Wages of Fear until we're talking about it now, to be fair.
Okay.
But I'm kind of with you. It's, I don't know. It was maybe I need the more plot. I do like character focused stuff.
Yeah, you're Mr. Character Farmer.
I thought it was a little cheesy in the whole and obviously, I'm not in that position, but the way I think there's value in how they portray greed, but with the gold, you're just like a little bit like, I don't know. The realisticness of the guy going crazy of gold and loses his head completely. It's just kind of.
You don't think that's realistic?
I mean, I don't know.
I think it's overplayed. He's saying.
I think it's overplayed a bit.
Seen it before. Speaking of losing their head, in the original cut, pre-censorship, Humphrey Bogart, Fred C. Dobbs, was supposed to get his head decapitated.
Some real
They cut
cartel
that out.
shit.
Yeah, that's very impactful. I mean, he literally lost his head. But they didn't. They put that. Hollywood put the nix on that. Because their relationship was interesting. I mean, him and that other, the gold hat. I don't know if he has a real name.
No, I don't know.
But I mean, that guy was a funny guy.
I liked his laugh.
Yeah, it was frustrating as well. I'm thinking like with what's his name, Curtin.
Mm-hmm.
Curtain.
Curtin. With what Dobbs had portrayed before, dude was going crazy. I mean, I think I would have been like, I'm going like, why not go with the old man?
You got to get the gold out of there quick. I mean, and
I guess.
you're very skeptical of any sort of stranger that you also don't speak the language. You're not as comfortable as Howard.
But if there's three people and the old man and you see eye to eye, and then you've had this guy who's kind of fucking crazy, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll go with the old man. Like, I probably wouldn't go with the fucking guy who's been
I agree with
crazy.
Grant. Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
you mean Curtin
Curtin.
deciding whether to stay with the old man or go.
Yeah,
with Dobbs.
after
Oh,
he saves
okay.
it. Yeah.
I see
But-
that. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm like still wrapping my head around the film, but I guess I wasn't blown away by the film. And I know it's a classic, whatever. You know, usually a lot of old films I'm super into. This one didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, I wasn't. You can go, Pat.
I was pretty into it actually. I feel like this was my first adventure into the older. But I think it might have been the first black and white film I've seen as like an adult.
Wow.
And I
Damn.
was actually quite invested in it. I thought it was pretty good. I was hooked.
That's good.
I do feel like it was played out and like I knew what was gonna happen, but I was almost like overthinking it. I thought there was gonna be like more layers of duplicity. Like I thought the old man was gonna, like he had all the gold with him when he went to, like I thought he was gonna trick him the whole time.
Yeah, like he was in with the bandits or something.
Yeah,
I was
or just,
thinking a
like,
little bit. Yeah.
something was gonna happen where like Dobbs was gonna be like crazy and like I've got all this thing, and then it was gonna be like him trying to sell it, and it's like this is just dirt, and then you see the other guy retired on like his little grocery store reading comics or something. But
They're very
that-
modern. That's
Yeah.
They made it today. Have some.
Yeah, but it didn't happen like that, and he laughed like a maniac into the wind. But I still thought it was good. I don't know. I liked it.
That's nice. What about you, Quinn?
Have you? I think I'm in the same boat as you, Grant, where it wasn't. I wasn't blown away. I enjoyed watching it, and I liked some of the scenes, but
Which
I
is
don't
weird.
know.
The one film that comes to mind when I think of black and white films that like is in my top 10 for sure is Judgment at Nuremberg. I fucking loved that film. Oh, this is so good.
That
And
was
that's
that was a cool movie.
similar time, I'd assume. Let me see, Judgment. 1961, so 10 years, 15 years later.
There's different movies though. I mean, that's
I know, completely different movies, you know. So like at least from this is more similar. It reminds me of really early cinema where it's like, you know what's gonna happen, it's kind of played out, you're playing into tropes a little bit, it's a little goofy, and I know this film's not a goofy film, but it's overplayed in a way, you know, like what you were saying, Quinn. I don't know if you guys feel the same thing, but
yeah. I mean, it just
you
feels
kind of buy
familiar.
in because, well, at this stage in the history of cinema, right? This is like still pretty early on, where like half of it or more. I mean, this is for a while, but especially in this is like films started becoming popular really like 20s, 30s, 40s. You're going to the cinema and it's still like it's like an amusement park, you know, like it's more stimulation than you've ever had. Like you're just like, wow, there's music, you know, this is like talkies now. You actually see them talking. And it's like
Not a lot of fighting
feel
sound
like-
effects.
Yeah, I feel like you don't, you know, they're kind of telling a tale that's been told in humanity. You know, like it's almost like a parable. It's almost like a parable. That's what I'm trying to say. You know,
Yeah.
like it's there's a lesson to be learned, and like at the end of the day, you laugh at it and whatever. This guy lost his head. It's like, but it's almost a parable. It's almost like a Bible story in a way.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know. I get it, but I think that makes it less impactful for me.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know why this popped into my head, but like The Social Network, or like it's about greed. I mean, you start like building something, or you acquire power or value or wealth, and then that changes your relationship with other people, and there's some sort of lesson at the end.
Yeah.
So
But- and
why
it's
do you
also
guys
like-
think this has stayed on the list? It's been on here for a long time.
I did some preliminary reading. I had to stop. I was like, there's a lot of like film, like nerdy film shit going on
Okay.
that has made it respectable or important for a variety of reasons.
Okay.
I just said I don't know. I'm like, filming was all complicated, casting. I don't think it was nerdy film shit. Is this? That's great. This is some nerdy film shit.
Well, won a couple of Oscars, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Did it win in like the nerdy film shit category?
Probably.
Cinematography. Is
Maybe
that category,
on-
right? That's the category.
On like a second watch, I don't think I put together that, you know, Dobbs was such a flawed human, and the other guy was supposed to be more generous or rational, level-headed. So maybe there were some important scenes in the beginning or important pieces of dialogue that I didn't catch on to, where it kind of showed their true intentions. I do remember them talking, I think it was Dobbs who said something like, oh, gold is just gold. It just kind of depends on the man that finds it, right?
In their little hostel kind
Yeah,
of.
they
They were
just kinda-
snuggled up next to each other.
Some shithole, yeah.
It did not win cinematography, so no
No.
nerd shit.
No nerd shit.
It won.
I don't even know if they had cinematography as a category back then. though.
Like,
director,
what?
actor,
You mean
writing.
Have you guys heard of that famous line before in pop culture about the badges? Another famously misquoted line.
Do you hear that a lot in Southern California?
What's the mixed quoted line?
Well, I think the
Gold hat.
misquoted one is where the guy's like, badges, we don't need to show you no stinking, we don't need no stinking badges. Because when he's asking him for his badges, but the line's actually something like, we ain't got no badges, we don't need no badges, I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
It's a lot more of a mouth.
Yeah, it's the same thing at Luke, I'm your father, or whatever, misquoted. Mandela effect, who knows?
That could have been edited out too. Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. I think it was the exact line in the book, so they stuck to the source material.
Okay.
We don't need no stinking badges.
His teeth are just always smiling too.
It's like, hey, we like guns. Give me your gun.
Give you a watch.
I kind of found
It
it
was
like
good. I like them.
it was a little unbelievable when they were like they smashed the gold at the end. Like,
It looked like
They
dirt,
didn't
though.
know what the gold was.
well, they were like
And
they thought it was weights.
Yeah, you're like, what?
I would just throw it on the
Why-
ground. I don't know why you're like
Why-
ripping
They
it
were
open.
checking if
smash.
something was in it. That's what you.
Why are you weighing down the donkeys?
They
You're
thought
weighing
there was
down the
something in it.
The
hides.
burrows?
I think the more the hide weighs, the more
These
expensive it
bandits
is.
are dumb.
I don't think so.
No, but
Really?
you just put it, you kind of lay the hide out, maybe some scale in the
The
bags
bandits have
under it.
no idea about the words of gold being in the mountains.
They don't-
No, but they reference
even
it
know it
too,
was
Grant,
there.
because they got tricked by fool's gold.
and they walked right over the real gold.
You don't even know what you're standing on. I love that guy. I love Howard.
Me too. He was the best. Him with the Indians just drinking the tequila and just they were giving him salt. He's just like, and they give him lime. He's just like, it was good.
Yeah,
Howard-
and
Howard
he's
was
eyeing that woman too. He's like, get used to this.
She just gives him a little beard rub.
That's great.
More tequila. Yeah.
I liked how they said "what's up" a couple times during the film. I was like, oh, this is. I didn't know that phrase was, still means the same as it does now. What's up?
They
Nothing.
said, hit the hay.
Hit the hay.
And they were sleeping on hay pillows.
Literally, yeah.
Like, literally hitting the hay. Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys did not like it very much.
I liked it.
I liked it.
But if you told me after, this is a classic film. This is top 100
I've seen
list. I'd
dude,
be like,
there's
really?
classics that hold way more dearly to me than this. I guess Wages of Fear was okay. The Sorcerer was really good, but I'm trying to think if I know any films around this time. This is probably a really good film. The ones that come to mind, I think Judgment of Nuremberg. I wonder when the Sorcerer. That was 1977. Wages of Fear. When is that? 1953. So that's kind of similar. I didn't really like Wages of Fear that much either.
Maybe you're just
I
not
don't
a
know.
Western guy.
Yeah, there's a Western. We watched some.
What's the trilogy?
We watched 3.
The few dollars more.
Yeah.
What's the first one called? One is called For a Few Dollars More.
With Clint Eastwood. When he was young too. Those were good. I liked those. Those were, but that's 20 years later. So it's a Western wasn't, because of movies like The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. I think typically when you see movies like this, like you asked, Patrick, you're like, why is it on the top 250? And I think it, in a lot of ways, either made a genre or made a trope. It was just so important in shaping cinema, and films were trying to either copy it or were just heavily influenced by it. It was probably one of the first Westerns really ever.
Do you think also it could how Quinn brought up The Social Network? That's a very important issue today, and that might be looked back upon with reverence. This was literally during the gold rush.
Yeah, all these greedy tech bros.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because
Was the gold rush 1849 or 1949?
I think it was 1949.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and a
1849,
fistful
sorry.
of dollars.
It's 100 years earlier. My bad. So I was wrong.
That's the. I don't
I
know how
thought-
long was there gold in Mexico.
Seems like there wasn't much if these dudes were looking for it.
Yeah, I think it was 18. It was around the same
Yeah.
time in Mexico as well.
So they were looking for washed up stuff. So
But-
it's more of a parable thing.
No, but it's still. I mean, you think of it I think there is a lot of validity in the point you just made because it's only a few generations ago about these gold stories, and they're probably being told throughout generations. Stories you hear what gold had done. Maybe your fan you probably know some gold story.
Yeah,
right?
it's Crazy
And this
Uncle.
is probably one of the
Oh, yeah.
first let's put it on screen. This is a tape. This is. I'm sure you've heard this about what gold does to you or can do, and it's really it's kind of what's that one movie about oil?
The Big Short.
No, something about
It's in the Middle East.
It's like something blood.
Oh, Blood Diamond. No, that's about diamond.
Brokeback Mountain.
There will be blood. There will be blood. That one's fucking, and it's very similar. But I thought, that's a 2007 movie, so like way later. But it's like it's similar in like it's Wild West, and there's fucking money involved, and there's no law. Shit's gonna happen. It's just gonna go down, and I don't know. I wish it kind of like rang with me a little bit more than it did, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't really. What are you gonna do?
It.
Yeah.
Change your brain. Stupid brain. No, I'm trying to look up films about gold mining, and there aren't like too many.
There's actually only two. There's this one and one other one.
There's only two. No, I think the first famous one was the Gold Rush with Charlie Chaplin. But there's a few. There's about 7 or 8 other movies in between that one and The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. So, not too many. In 1994, White Fang 2, Myth of the White Wolf.
See, that one doesn't sound like it
That one didn't hold up as much.
What about The Call of the Wild?
I've heard that one.
Oh, that's a book. Yeah, it's the book. With the sled dogs, remember? I didn't know that one was about gold, but apparently it is.
They just said gold in it. Gets flagged by the algorithms.
No.
Top 10 Gold Rush
It's
movies.
during the Gold Rush.
Balto.
Check it out. Balto. Balto has a gold tooth, if you look really closely. In Act 2, Scene 4.
What are you talking about?
Me and Pat are just talking about the film. I don't know what you're doing.
Who's Balto?
He's the dog.
With the gold tooth.
His name's Buck.
Tomato, tomato, dude. That was his real name. That was just his stage name.
That's his last name. Buck
Oh.
Balto.
But
Bucky Balto.
it was weird seeing I mentioned this before in the fight scene where they didn't have sound effects, but then got in my head a little bit. I was like, but that's really what a fight would sound like? There's just nothing. It's like a light.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really almost nothing. That dude
Just when you,
punches
hit
another
the
dude.
ground.
Wah! Kablam! Whoosh!
Yeah.
Yeah. Howie.
But it messes with your head because you expect it now,
With
but
like
maybe you
Marvel,
shouldn't
yeah.
expect it.
Yeah. No. Well,
I mean, with the
they did a
superheroes.
good job at the time for the cutting and the fight scenes.
Fight scenes.
It was,
One dude got messed up. But also,
Dude,
now that I
fuck that
think
guy.
about it,
I can't put. I guess maybe they were showing how honest of men they would be. I would keep all the money in that.
yeah,
fucking
they didn't
wallet.
take all the money.
I would be like, bruh. He's like, oh, I can't steal. I'd be like, bro, you owe me all the fucking money. You try to pull one over, you fucking piece of shit. This is for everyone else you scammed.
Yeah,
who
there's
also
like 20 people.
allowed that to happen. You're like, right.
Everyone else is cool with it. They're like, yeah, we'll wait for him.
Just happy to do it honest day's work.
Did Dobbs take the money too, or was it Curtin? You guys remember that? No,
Oh,
but I mean, like, there was someone who said, like, oh, that's it,
I bet it was Dobbs.
to trick you into thinking that
No,
he's a good person.
He is. That's the parable.
No, he's not. I thought
No,
Curtin is
Howard
the good
even
guy.
said it. Howard laid it out.
Yeah, he said he's a good person. Gold corrupted him.
Yeah.
That's why it's like cheesy to me. It's like, I mean,
But then why didn't it corrupt Curtin?
Because I don't know.
Not everyone is corruptible,
Yeah,
but you can
I
still
don't
be a
know.
good person able to be corrupted.
good person that's impulsive.
Yeah.
Dude, he got that fucking bottle and he just smashed it on him. I was like, oh, he's boozing him up. Nah, dude, bar fight 101.
I didn't see it coming though.
Yeah.
I thought Dobbs was gonna go even more crazy.
I thought he was
Like-
gonna like eat someone.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna fucking freak out. I thought he was gonna like backtrack again and be like, "Wait, Kurt." Like, I almost would enjoy him like starving to death and going insane,
Yeah.
and then them finding his like body like dead. You know. And being
When
like,
was it
mean,
clear that
maybe.
things were going bad for you guys? Like, was there a point when you're like, because in my mind, I'm always hoping like, maybe he's not gonna get that crazy. But then there was like one scene in particular that I saw Dobbs rocking next to the campfire, and I was like, all right, it's nothing good is gonna come like from this point on.
It
Did you guys
escalated
put-
pretty quick. It was like once the old man left, the guy Dobbs was just talking about how Curtin was gonna like kill. Yeah, it was just gonna run off and like kill them both and take all the money. It was just like going crazy. And then Curtin was talking about how like they have to go to Durango, and the guy's like, "I see what you were playing this Sunday school." Like, blah. I'm like, dude, this guy's gone. But then I guess really, I don't know. I felt like it was almost sudden from that point to like the point where they were like, he's like, "I'll bet you $100,000 that I can whoever sleeps first or whatever."
Yeah,
And then that was the end of it.
yeah. Then he got blasted.
I think it started falling apart a little bit earlier. I mean, they found some sort of gold, and then they had a freak out over in their tent where like one person's missing. They're like, "What the hell?" And that person would get up, and then the other person would wake up, be like, "What the hell? Where's that person at?"
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to agree on killing the dude either. On Cody, I thought they were gonna let him in.
Oh yeah.
He's like a smooth talker. Like, oh, he'll get in, and then he'll cause problems. But really, there was another plot with the bandits.
Mm-hmm. Then kind of the guilty conscience begins with Helen and his
Yeah.
daughter or whatever.
Read that letter.
Dude, Curtin he's gonna go
Bang his
bang
wife.
Kurt's wife on a fruit farm.
Yeah, he is. That's what his play
Yes.
is.
Right.
He heard there were some peaches need attending to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's his
harvest
dream.
season.
But it's and that's kind of like I like kind of that parable vibe of that more. It's like things do happen for a reason. You went through all of this, but at the end of the day, someone did. I mean, 2 people died, and you always want to fall
The bandits died too.
follow
Grant.
the path.
Those-
Yeah,
Don't forget about them.
many bandits died.
Gold hat.
I can't keep track of them all.
Those guys.
Yeah.
It was weird. There were some extended scenes too without subtitles,
Yep.
and that was like just more than you
I
would
kind of
expect.
Liked it.
Yeah, I was like, what are they saying?
I was like,
wanna
this is
know.
almost more respectful of, or not more respect. I thought it was like kind of cool to not translate it. It was like you took like context in. It was kind of more engaging, and like imagine like if you were Spanish, you're like, yeah, this is like I understand. I could just imagine like if a film did that today, I feel like it would get flack, but I feel like I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if you spoke Spanish, you'd be able to understand both. But they did a very good job at like you understanding the context.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally, I mean, you get away with it, and they did it sometimes too, where it's like, oh, what? With like they'll say 2 sentences and be like, what's he saying? And they'll translate. But I think near the end, when they were talking about the treasure, I mean, there were some long exchanges that you're like, what the hell are they saying? I want to know.
How'd you know they were talking about the treasure, Quinn?
That's the only thing that was on my mind. Where's
Just kidding.
the gold?
Yeah. The goods.
Like
The
with
goods,
kid
the
and
goods.
stuff.
The
You
goods.
you got to secure my goods, guys.
Goods or secure.
Are you too yellow? You're yellow. That's what you are, Grant.
That's
No
racist.
response. It's not racist. I guess you can't say. Can you not say that anymore? If I called someone yellow, I'd be
That's
like,
Furia.
I'd be like, yeah,
I don't
jump,
think so.
run over there, go punch that guy. What are you, yellow? Yellow.
I didn't know. So there were the Indians were also like just like neutral parties, right? They were just seeing people walk by their lands, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Then you had settlers, like Mexicans or whatever, good
Like
Mexicans. Then,
yeah.
and then you had the bandits who were bad Mexicans, and then
Yes.
random Americans.
Yes.
What were the random Americans doing there that were like the wealthy ones? Do we have any idea? I don't even know what. Like
What
the guy
were the
who's giving.
poor people doing too? I know Cody. It was specifically, I'm out looking for gold.
Yeah, but what were the wealthy Americans doing there?
I think it's like the Wild West vibes. So it's like either they had a fortune of gold there, or they have, it's maybe they have a plantation, maybe they're like just spending money there. It's like tropical in a lot of ways.
Okay.
That was my understanding.
Okay.
You know, it's like tourism in a way. It felt like a touristy town, where
Did it?
where like some Americans got stuck because they traveled there originally with like a promise of work, and it was very similar in Wages of Fear, whereas like you gotta go in Casablanca. It's the same thing. It's like this town where
need
it's
money
like
for
it
passage.
attracts tourism, but then you no longer can afford a ticket out of there, and you're like, fuck, there's no work here, and you're stuck.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
I don't know. I didn't get the tourist vibes, and that question's a good question because I don't.
It is a good question though.
I don't know why anyone. It seemed like a very poor place, and not a resort destination. So I don't know why the wealthy Americans were there.
Maybe they own, they were being capitalists
could-
and setting up
yeah.
their businesses,
Yeah.
exploiting the cheap labor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, there are no tigers in Mexico. They were real. I had to look it up because there were so many questions about tigers. And like, oh, I think that's a tiger. Like, tiger probably got him.
Could be a tiger.
Yeah,
no tigers
there
in
actually are no
Mexico.
tigers in Mexico.
So
Fun
how
fact.
crazy he was, I guess.
Yeah.
The fuck? Was that a target? He's like, what if I just shot him and he faked his death? Which was actually half true, not true. Wasn't dead, but
He was that was what his plan was, He was going to pretend to be dead.
yeah. But those were good paranoid thoughts, with the tiger. And then he's like, wait, but what about the buzzards? They're going to be circling. I don't see any buzzards yet.
They missed him. That's just my luck. Are those good paranoid thoughts? Those are like the paranoid thoughts that get you in trouble. He should have just kept moving.
Oh, no. I just mean good as
Oh.
in accurate. Like, you're
Yeah,
just
okay,
way
yeah.
overthinking shit. Like, calm down, dude.
Just constantly
What?
pacing back and forth.
Take one less dab, please.
Yeah. Dude was hammered.
But yeah, that's what I got.
I have a good quote from Howard. He said, "Good medicine men are born, not made." I'm like, oh, that's the opposite today, bud. Good medicine men are born, not made.
The Hippocratic oath was just spoken at his birth.
Yeah, it's like, nah, dude, you just have it or
Some
you
Boy
don't.
Boy Scout shit.
Dude, he was like, with the little boy, he was like, oh,
Put some like water, tequila on his face
like,
or
hands
something.
up.
Hands
Hands
down.
out. I'm like, why wouldn't they tried it? Like, I don't know, like, because he's white. Like, why did they pick him over like the village, like sage, or like someone who
They
is the
tried. They don't
doctor?
know. Americans.
They're not
I mean,
medicine
do you
man
see
like
what he
him.
was doing?
Is that a legitimate rescue technique?
Yeah.
For drowning victims, Grant?
He was making his
This?
lungs compress.
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, you were
I don't think
making
he's
his
just
lungs
random.
compress and decompress.
I thought it was random. I thought it was
No,
like
think about it.
Making
You
them
go like
dance?
this, You go like this, and your lungs are like, like you're literally just compressing your lungs when you move your arms down.
Oh. Why didn't you do CPR?
CPR is for your heart, Grant.
Oh, was his heart beating?
Yeah, he had his lungs. He had water in them or something.
Oh.
So he was getting a normal breathing. I don't know. I thought it made sense with
Medicine
drowning.
man.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, there was no technique. He was just born to be a medicine man. So I don't know what you
I
guys
think
are
you're
talking
supposed to do CPR too.
about. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, I agree with Pat too. I thought it was like a heart thing.
I agree with
if
that
your
as well.
lungs are filled with water,
Maybe if you're like,
maybe it helps too.
I'm not born to be a medicine man, so I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't born either. They're born, not made.
But I was buying into his showmanship.
He's an entertainer.
Cool.
Well,
Is it about that time? It's
about that time.
The G&Q Patented Review, where we decide whether the true rating of the Treasure of the Sierra Madre is over or under the IMDb rating. And with 121,000 votes, we are sitting at an 8.2.
I'll go. I think it's I'm going under this week. Yeah, it wasn't a huge. Didn't blow me away. Let's just say. I think I talked about a little cliche. A little drawn out. I was kind of losing interest throughout. So that's it. I'm going under this week, boys.
Grant's an under. I'm going to go under as well. 8.2 is a little too high for me. It's weird. I'm looking at the IMDb. Like, instead of a rating, like a profanity rating, they just have a thing that says passed. I don't really know what that means. It passed. I don't like.
Yeah, you can watch it if you're a kid.
5 Karens watched it, and they said, that's good with me. Yeah, I'm going to go under, but it's a cool story. I probably think there's more to absorb on a second watch, and I'm not entirely opposed to it. So that's where I stand.
I'm gonna go under. I thought it was good, but it wasn't.
Wow,
Yeah.
you were such a big fan.
Yeah, I had pretty low expectations though. So it would beat my expectations going into it.
8.2
But-
is pretty high.
Yeah, to make it onto like the top 250 of all time, I don't know. I would have liked that extra layer of duplicity, you know.
Yeah,
Just
that's-
us for that.
yeah. I mean, like I watched, like I know it's cliche, but like I feel like Citizen Kane is more interesting in a plot. I just thought the plot just wasn't that. It wasn't that all there. You know, it was like everyone knew what was gonna happen. And I think like the movies that really withstand the test of time, like even Citizen Kane, it's just like I don't know, you don't. It keeps you entertained throughout.
Yeah.
I thought
Onions, Grant. They're like onions. You gotta
onions.
peel the curtain layer.
Yeah.
Curtain has layers. So does Fred C. Dobbs. You don't tell Fred C. Dobbs that he's not an 8.2.
We all did. We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die.
All right, 3 unders.
Well,
What are we doing next week, Grant?
we've already decided. Fam. It is, like Quinn said, holiday season. We're festive. We're in the holiday spirit. And it's actually, I picked Shrek, which I know was probably, I think, our most popular episode yet. Everyone loves Shrek. Most popular movie yet. I picked it because I watch it yearly, and it's a thing that I just love the movie. Good vibes. And Quinn has a movie that also, it's good vibes. He likes to watch it. It's kind of part of a tradition. Maybe every year, or when he's watching holiday movies, this one's on the list. What is it? It is Elf. next week we are watching Elf, which I have not seen. I think I've seen once.
Wow.
Dang, that's kind of impressive that you've
Surprising.
only been able to see it once.
Yeah, I have no idea what happens besides Will Ferrell's in it.
Damn.
And he's an elf. That's
And
it.
he's an elf.
I have no idea.
That's pretty crazy. I'm trying to think of like if I've ever kept track of, you're like with you, Grant. You're like every birthday, it's like a thing. It's Shrek, and I'm trying to think if that's it. It's not like that for me, but maybe it is in reality. Like I just always end up watching it every Christmas season, but I don't make it like a task to be like, all right, it's Christmas time, week before Christmas, let's watch
Who
Elf.
puts it on though?
Dude, it's always. I know I watched it at least probably twice. It's like a good airplane movie. Makes you feel good. On the flights back to and from Shanghai for Christmas break, it's always on the airplane because it's older. And then sometimes when I'm just hanging out, I don't know. I put it on, Grant. I choose.
Yeah. A synopsis. Buddy was accidentally transported to the North Pole as a toddler and raised to adulthood among Santa bells. I did not know that. That's all news to me.
That's the whole plot.
That's the whole thing. You don't know.
Unable to shake the feeling that he doesn't fit in, he travels to New York in the search of his real father.
Daddy!
And should I stop reading? Like, is it going to spoil any more?
I don't
No,
know.
that's pretty much it. He thinks
Yeah,
As
you
it
don't need to read
happens,
anymore.
he's
Goes to New
discovering
York.
his
Goes to New York, cynical, but the DNA test. He's trying to meet his real father. So what happens? Is that
Yeah.
good enough synopsis?
Yeah, that's good
Goes
enough.
to New York to meet his
I'm reading it too. It doesn't spoil anything, but yeah, that's good enough.
Okay. I haven't seen it really at this. I mean, I've seen it.
Yeah, you
probably
haven't seen
once,
it.
But I really
No,
haven't
if
seen
you didn't know he was, yeah.
yeah, it's literally like a who am I?
It's
kind
a
of story.
coming
It's
of
a-
age.
Exactly, but
Yeah,
he's
for
like,
an
But
elf.
he's
old.
already old.
but he's not.
So, yeah, because he
At
hasn't.
heart.
I gotcha. Okay. Thank
And
you.
next week we'll be live on Tuesday if you're keeping up with the episodes.
Yes, we will do it a day early because we want to be mindful of everyone else's holiday season. You know, Wednesday's a busy day. So that's all I got. Anything else? I think Quinn, you had something to say?
Do I have something to say? I don't have anything to say.
Patrick, you had something to say, right? Closing words.
Peace. That's not
Thank you
closing
all
words.
for
Thank you.
listening. It was-
Namaste.
Thank you all for listening. Namaste. We will see you all next week with Elf. In the meantime, you can follow our social media at GQ Review. That is our handle for our Twitter and our Instagram. And you can email us feedback at gqreview.com. That is where you can recommend your favorite holiday season. I know you're into, if you're into holiday films, maybe Elf is your favorite film of all time, like it is for Quinn.
Maybe.
You should
We
email
won't
him
know
about
unless you email. So
Unless you email. So until then, we'll see you next week, guys. Peace.
peace.
Yeah. Toodles.
What the?
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.